Hi and hello and welcome to episode 50. It's the golden anniversary of going over. I, of course, am Fred Slow alongside me, Saleh Taylor. We're recording on Friday night. That's Friday, October the 18th. Airing terrestrially on the Sports Animal Saturday the 19th. Thank you for joining in with us before a big day of college football, UNM football, and obviously the NFL to follow. I'm currently at the Duke City Marathon. So if you're coming by to see me, come see me. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm hanging out with the Boys and Girls Club like I always do. And then, of course, Van Nunley and I this afternoon are hosting Fall Fest at the Rio Rancho Event Center. Come see your boys as we are living that life of fun. Saleh, welcome.
What is happening? You have quite a full dance card ahead of you, my friend. How are you doing? How are you feeling, brother?
That's my stuff.
What?
I'm at my home studio and I didn't shut my door and my cat came in here.
Like the cat just looks so happy to be somewhere.
I don't know if you can hear a cat purr on the radio, but there you go. So he's sitting on my lap. I'm hanging out with you guys. I like this cat. His name is Stash. Hang out with him. If you don't have a pet, first of all, I get it. I live a busy life too. Get a cat. Easiest thing in the world. Like,
agreed.
Put a cat in your life, live a better life. I'm not really a dog guy. I think we've been over this before. Don't mess with dogs. You know what they need? Love and attention. I can barely give myself enough.
It's actually that makes sense, but it kind of if you get the right one, they melt your heart. And I wouldn't mind seeing a dog just break down the barriers that you've been holding up against the world. It'll be cool to see that.
Didn't you find your dog on like a Hawaiian island or something running around? Wasn't it some?
Yeah, it was an island dog, man. from the
just hopping islands.
And and like my dog's very well. She's very well traveled right now, as well as the cat. So we got options.
Yes, they don't mind car rides. This show's a lot of fun for us because we do it obviously because we love the world of pro wrestling. We're involved in the world of pro wrestling. We're proud, I think, of that somewhat. And Duke City Championship Wrestling is our premier Albuquerque and New Mexico promotion. There's a ton going on. We got a million announcements. It feels like all the time. We got a big event coming up November the 21st. Also, if you support Duke City Championship Wrestling, do keep in mind I'm in the ownership group of that. So that is a big deal to me that I know that you know that you're supporting me and those things. So that's awesome. Also, if you support live entertainment, you're supporting Saleh Taylor as he performs and does a million things. Now, you skipped a bunch of shows in a row. Are you coming November the 21st? To the Rio Rancho.
Let's see how the bookings look, man. Your boy be needed some other places. But it is safe to say, though, the current production I've been working on, I am officially wrapped from that one.
Okay.
This is the one I've been working on since August. So
you have a new TV show out, and you are in that until the point where you are no longer in it.
That is correct.
Okay. We can't say much else.
We can't.
Have your Matlock episodes aired yet?
Not yet. That one, I think, December.
Okay.
I believe.
All right. So whenever they do, we're going to do a watch party. It's going to be stupid. It's going to be unnecessary is what it's going to be. So as we record this program, we pretty consistently hit it every week. Like that, we pretty consistently. But the Sports Animal, which is our home station, they'll have college football often on Saturdays. And that has slowed us down because it'll be a pregame. Westwood One does broadcast its whole production. So with that said, at or near 1 month ago when this came out, we weren't on the air. We weren't covering things. And then we had the NWA partnership. There was a ton going on. So I thought it might be kind of fun if we harken back, right? So the PWI, which is Pro Wrestling Illustrated, not sure how familiar you are with that, but it's a super fun publication that unnecessarily ranks pro wrestlers from 500 to 1. It gives you the best 500 to 1 pro wrestlers in the world. And I think it would be really difficult to go through all 500 because a lot of names that we won't know. But Duke City Championship Wrestling has had 2 of them, and those are both members of your family, which is very incredible, Saleh. Both Journey Fatu and Jacob Fatu on the top 500, and they also are Duke City Championship Wrestling. So how incredible.
That is a beautiful thing. I'm so proud. And they're continue to work, man. Cannot say how proud. Can't say enough how proud I am of them. It's one of those things where people don't understand how long people are on their journey. People are on this mix. Uh, Jacob and Journey themselves at least 15, close to 20 years. Pretty much, actually, yeah, closer to 20 years for Jacob, and then Journey probably close to 15, 10, 15. People don't know. They call it overnight success from like years of work, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know, the work that everyone that's on that list, big congratulations to them getting getting the recognition on there, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of our DCCW boys or girls on that list.
Yeah, it's an interesting list because I went through it, not with a fine tooth comb by any means, but I went through it to see, what names were out there, who existed where, who was doing what, and it's kind of looks like they go in via promotion. Like, and I don't really
Yes.
know like the logic behind all this, but like, I'm super plugged into pro wrestling in St. Louis, Missouri. That's where I grew up. That's where a lot of inspiration for what we do down here in the Southwest is. And when I start to see some of those guys' names popping up, you see that they're all from like, oh, that region. Like the group in the mid 400s is all from the St. Louis region. Like I go here, it's like, oh, this group here, this is all from like the Central Texas region. So I think it's not necessarily where you are on the list, but that you are on the list that is so substantial here, because at any time could you get a guy like in the late 70s is Johnny TV, who is John Morrison, and he's had a bunch of different names. You're gonna tell me right now he wouldn't put an absolute banger with like late 70s like Sunny Kiss, or as we move up, just all these different. Chris Adonis is on here at the mid 50s. There's just a bunch of dudes that if you put any Lance Hawaii on here, like if you put any of these people in a match together, you're gonna get a banger out of this. Karrion Kross is gonna put on a banger with anyone. So it's just kind of a neat one to break down and kind of dive into. Xavier Woods, 299.
Well, one of the coolest things to see is Swerve Strickland as at number 2, right behind Cody Rhodes. I know I'm starting a little bit higher, but the journey that he's been on from being rejected to finding his own rhythm with AEW and hitting his stride out there, man. And sometimes it's one of those timing isn't working for you.
Oh, I agree.
Maybe the you being in a certain company isn't working for you. Tony Storm, who's
on the ladies side, which
on
just
the
came out
ladies side,
years ago. Yeah.
Like that is a prime example that WWE they didn't know how to exactly utilize her, but then she got a little more creative control in AEW, and her work there timeless, literally.
Yeah, it's not just a clever name, and I think I've talked about this with you a lot. I think my favorite pro wrestler of all time is The Miz. I think The Miz has been through now multiple iterations. He's been now decades in the game. He's sitting at 281. And I don't know where your definers are. I don't know when you're making this list, how you put them together. But if you were to sit in here and tell me that, like just 20 names higher than him is a guy like Rich Swann or Lilo Rush or Grayson Waller, these guys, Johnny Gargano, they're all kind of in the mix. I'm going to tell you right here that none of these guys are historically what The Miz is and what The Miz can currently do today. So I'm saying like that placement, like you're talking about sort of Strickland, I don't think he ever would have been off the top 500, regardless of what he was doing with, what was the name of that stable he was in WWE? The Rappers. What was the name of that stable? It's escaping me right now. Skid Row. Yeah. Is that, wasn't it? Something, Hit Row. So, yeah, I wouldn't say he would have fallen completely off. Would he not have been at number 2 if he wasn't doing that thing he's doing? I don't think so. But Kyle O'Reilly's been hurt for 2 years, it seems like. And, he's sitting in the 230s. So there's just a lot of names on here that I personally think can do it. Like a guy we just had a DCCW, Baba Thunder. Like he's not on the list. He will be again. This guy is top tier, but not quite there yet.
I do love how you said like it doesn't necessarily matter where you are on the 500 list as long as you're on the list because this list is worldwide,
So much
and
talent.
unfortunately, we have maybe five, six top productions, top promotions that they're pulling from, but there's at least 50 in this region, in the Southwest to the West Coast region. You know that itself. So they're pulling from a deep pool, and it's really cool to see that some of these names get a recognition. I do
Mhm.
love that the Miz is on the list. More importantly, I do love that Joe Hendry is on the list. That's a man who's been really working at and honing his which is his character, his work, his craft down. Uh, Seeing his work out in the UK and stuff, and working his way over here, and constantly working on just connecting with the fans.
Well, like I'll say, like I was at NWA a couple weeks ago doing some TV stuff. Like Primo and Epico are in NWA, right? Like they're doing tag
Yeah,
team stuff. Like the clones have, they're not on the list. You know what I mean? So you're talking about guys that have been at the absolute very top. So, like, if you are a performer who's not on the list, if you're a fan of a guy who's not on the list, I'm going to say this to you. Now, it is not an insult. Like, there are more
yeah,
than 500 top tier pro wrestlers in the world. You know, this isn't golf. This isn't baseball. This isn't basketball. This is entertainment. And these guys, because it's such a different types of entertainment across the whole board, I think I might be wrong here. Worldwide, I think,
mhm,
and this is just an opinion, I think worldwide there might be 5,000 really good pro wrestlers. There might be across the entire planet 5,000 really good. And then you're going to get into a higher tier. There's going to be 2,000 that could work for anyone. You're going to get into
there we
even
go.
higher, where there's going to be 1,000 that are going to entertain you as well as you've ever been entertained in this industry, and then there's 500 inside of that that draw money, you know, and I think that's the truth of what this talent is. I think can be done by many, can be specialized by few, and then can be your favorite flavor of ice cream from there. Like that to me is my interpretation. Bill Goldberg not on the list from the live chat.
What about Bill Goldberg? You got to say the whole name every time. The I actually that is a nice little fair. That's a fair assessment, I'd say. Out of the 5,000 that are really good, yeah, I really like that. Now that you touched on this, so the 500, which are names that could, or even from the 500, I'd say even the top 100 can draw,
Oh, I agree.
or top 200 can really draw. That itself is a beautiful group to be in, and
Well,
seeing some really cool names of people that I know from back in the day. Alexander Hammerstone. Woo! Come on, brother. Come on.
tell me,
Really dope.
I'm going to read. I'm not a big list guy. I'm not a big names guy, but I'm going to read you some names. You tell me if you would pay money to see them. Okay.
Go on.
Cody Rhodes,
Yes.
Swerve Strickland,
Yes.
Will Ospreay,
Yeah. Yes.
Seth freaking Rollins,
Freaking yes.
Tetsuya Naito. I don't know who that is, so I apologize.
That's fair. Maybe I might know his
Yeah.
face, but not his name.
Yeah. Japanese is hard. Damian Priest,
Yes.
MJF,
Oh, yes.
John Moxley,
Depending on the day.
Gunther.
Oh, yes.
I'm not into deathmatch stuff. Mystico,
He's fun. Yes.
Samoa Joe,
Oh, yeah.
Sami Zayn,
Agreed.
Drew
Yeah.
McIntyre,
Take my money all
Ryan
day, bro.
Danielson. Hey, you know what? I think 15 is the first one where I would maybe skip. Moose, I don't overreact for. I think he's
I mean,
good.
he's good. He's been holding it down at TNA for a minute. They're giving him the tools. He really wants to do a crossover match at NXT. He really wants that. And that'll be fun to see. Yeah.
He got started years ago. He was wrestling in St. Louis, Missouri for the St. Louis Rams. I remember wrestling. He was playing pro football. I don't know if you know all this story.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe for that reason I'll go see him. Just because I knew him some times ago. But I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, all these dudes are the draw. They're all the draw.
Yeah.
LA Knight 27.
Yeah.
There's a ton of talent here. That's what I'm trying to get to. EC3 top 40. Let's go.
Hey, get him, champ.
Yeah.
He's still a draw. He's still a pull, man.
I think he's a draw. I was at I told you I went to those TV tapings. Dude.
Yeah, how so what is there anything more you could talk about from that trip?
I mean, not really until stuff airs, but it's like I learned a lot, you know, I can tell you that. Like their production style was very TV oriented, you know, which obviously it's a TV product, so that was neat, you know, and it's kind of interesting to see what Duke City Championship Wrestling does with the live product and how they turn it into a TV show. You know, it's because, you know, I think I talk about this every time I talk about wrestling. It's all about flavors. You know, it's what's going on in the town over might not be what's going on here.
Yes.
You know, also, like, I mean, I've heard about shows in the town over. You know, they don't draw a live audience the way we've been fortunate to draw a live audience. You know, so you couldn't do that product. Like, you have to do a more intimate product. Like, you have to do which, by the way, is also equally good. You know, it's in its own flavor. If we were to do a product where it was less than 100 fans, that's easy math. I mean, how tight we would keep the camera. You know, like how tight we would keep the story in the ring and the people in the, you know, first, the 20, 40, 60, 80. So there's only 80 seats immediately around the ring. And then, you know, you'd have a handful of people sprinkled behind that.
We would totally be controlling our narrative on that one, running that way.
That would be the whole thing. Well, that's the thing too, you know, about crowds. Like, because you hear naysayers.
Yeah.
Let me use different verbiage. Naysayer sounds like there's a connotation. You hear individuals make erroneous claims, and again, the people that do that, there's less of a life there than there should be. But you hear them make these claims, and you say, "What do you mean they didn't have 100 people? Every front row seat was full. That's 80 people right there. Like you're just lying. Like do you know how fast people add up? Like not what it looks to be a lot of people is often a lot of people. That's just how it works." When we get back from the break, the PWI put out the women's top 250, Saleh, because they're in higher demand. Okay, there's less of them. They're in higher demand. It's harder. You know how I know? We try to get them all the time. We'll continue talking about the world of pro wrestling. Your Saleh Taylor, I'm Fred Slow. This is Going Over on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Going Over. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday morning. First Saturday in 2 weeks, Saleh, without the balloon fiesta.
We can breathe.
Did you get out there?
Also, I played a gig out there, and that was amazing. I got to experience my first glow.
Yeah, they're cool, right?
That was beautiful, man. It was. I was grateful because of the load in and the load out is just very arduous, but I got to enjoy the load out because we all just got to pause and just watch.
Oh, cool.
We needed that moment. That was really cool.
I had a moment with a fan of Duke City Championship Wrestling. They said, "Hey, you should do wrestling after the glow." And I go, "Do you know how trained people are that go to the glow? Like they run out. Like the second the glow is over, and those, by the way, sweet drone shows, sweet fireworks, sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Everything's so cool. Sandia Hotel, Casino, and Resort, they did all the fireworks.
And the drone show. So
cool.
good.
So cool. So we're talking about the
we have an influx, by the way, of like 20 to 30,000 at least extra people who come into town.
You're not even close.
It's 50, right? Is it 50?
No, you're not even close.
How much?
It's the largest. First, I'm about to tell you, but I'm going to hype it first. So,
Go on.
first of all, it's the most Airbnb week of the year anywhere in the world. Want to be very clear.
Wow.
So more Airbnbs go through Albuquerque during the 9 days of the Balloon Fiesta than any other time. That's a fact. Here's this follow-up. Might be because hotels are a little more limited here, but I don't know. On top of that, the Balloon Fiesta over a course of 11 days will see almost 1 million people. Now, a lot of those are return, like they'll go multiple days, but they'll have 1 million pass through the gate, which is almost
counting each. Woo!
Mm-hmm. So there's an extra, I'm not going to get this number right, but I just talked to the media relations gal over at the airport. It's something like there's like 100 and something more flights a day. Like it's like crazy stuff. So like that's what the Balloon Fiesta does.
I felt it. I was actually traveling in and out again for work, but on my way back out, I had to endure on that final Sunday the most packed a plane I've ever been on. Also, I got to experience the first time seeing someone get kicked off of a plane.
Oh, it's wild, isn't it?
Oh man, it's a different thing, man. It's a different vibe. It's a different crowd. It's different. It's different.
Are you ready?
But
I found the exact number. Are you ready?
Hit it.
In 2023, there were 968,516 visitors to the Balloon Fiesta. This is last year's numbers. Isn't that crazy? That's so
wonder,
crazy.
Man. It's got to be like the 9th wonder of the world. It's got to be.
Last year, not this year, 546 hot air balloons, 107 special shape balloons, 75 remote control balloons, 269 pilots from 16 countries. That Gordon Bennett gas race, which is just stupid fun. 17 teams participated in the 6th. 836 media representatives. I was one of them. From 142 organizations. I work for one of them. Balloon Fiesta Live, 771,631 total views. How crazy. Just crazy, man. Coolest thing ever. If you tune into us from around the country or the world or whatever, come to Albuquerque the first weekend in October. Go to the Balloon Fiesta. It's the coolest thing you can do.
It's actually a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. Just stay out of the locals' ways when you're on the highway. Just
mind. What are you doing? Why are you being like this?
Mind your spacing, man.
You're one of those balloon fiasco guys. I can tell you have that energy, and I don't like that. I don't like that you bring that.
I'm not necessarily balloon fiasco. I'm just like honestly, it's rare. I got to work it, play it, but like be around it. I didn't get to be affected by it too much this year. I got to actually play part in it, and it's really cool. I was really happy to be part of that, but also I got to avoid it a lot too.
Breaking my heart. I don't like that you're doing that.
But I love it. It's beautiful, man. The whole time I was out, I was telling people about it.
I got this women's list here. Okay.
Timeless Tony Storm.
Is she sitting at number 1?
No, Bianca Belair at number 1. Well deserved, I'd say.
Is that real?
Yeah.
You think she's the best one?
She's been carrying Jade Cargill all year, bro. They're doing a damn good job at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's correct, the thing you just said.
You know, she's been working really, really well, and also still keeping herself on top. You know, still keeping herself looking competitive. She had some great singles matches also throughout that just showed us, reminding us that she's still the baddest of the bad, man. I'm forever marking out for Bianca Belair. You know, questionable about the. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the time I was most into her was when she debuted on the pro roster. That's the time I was most into her. That Royal Rumble lead up stuff. That's the time I was there.
Yeah. She's been playing her role, you know, doing her thing. But the thing that really made me notice her was just her protecting and working with and enhancing Jade Cargill. Like that. That's when I really started to notice her. It's like, okay, Like she's pulling vet moves really well, and you know, keeping
Now,
it going. That's something I'll cheer for any day.
now, I'm not trying to say that you're wrong about this analysis, but are you sure you're not looking in the 2023?
I'm looking now, man. I'm looking this year. I'm looking since January till now. 2003, she was doing some good work, but this year was a massive improvement for her career and for her work.
So it looks here from the official one that I'm seeing that Tony Storm is at the very top, but you're not seeing that. You're seeing something else.
Where am I looking at? Where am I looking at?
Because I'm not trying to say that you're over here wrong.
Oh man, they sent me to the wrong year. But Tony Storm's on top. Still a great choice. Still a great one.
You're embarrassing. You're embarrassing.
I'm still calling it good, man. Bianca Belair is still a top choice for me, but Tony Storm does belong.
She's not in the mix. That's what I was telling you. Her stories have fallen off.
She's still tied.
Stop. I mean, here's what you're trying to defend. What's not defensible?
False news, fake news.
Yeah, there you go. She doesn't have any major feuds. She doesn't really have a prominence within her promotion. I'm not about her. Tony Storm, you don't skip. Like you give me a Bianca Belair and a Jade Cargill, whatever, I'm gonna skip that. Tony Storm comes on the screen. Quiet on the set because I'm watching it.
Well said.
I don't watch enough women's wrestling.
Tony, Jordan, then Rhea. That's a solid trio right there.
When that girl, here's the difference. I was at the Royal Rumble in Tampa.
Yes, you were.
I want to make sure I got her name right. Jordan Grace, is that her name? I want to make sure I got it right.
Yeah.
When she showed up, was that the girl that showed up?
Yeah, from TNA.
No one knew.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to
saw that on TV.
No one knew. No one knew who that was. If Timeless Tony Storm had showed up, previous WWE, whatever, if she had shown up, it'd have been a thing. If Willow Nightingale had showed up, that'd have been a thing. If those people had shown up, cool.
Did the crowd warm up to Jordan by the time she got in the ring and started working? There's a beautiful moment with her and Naomi right before, because a couple nights before. Didn't?
No.
I guess that's like having the bias of the commentary on TV.
That helps. That super helps. The problem with the Tropicana, which by the way, RIP. RIP.
Dang.
I know, dude. Roof went right off there. Milton said, nope.
Dang.
Took the roof right off. But the wrestling didn't know how to be there. And also Tampa fan, because Florida wrestling is so good. Florida is so spoiled in the world of wrestling. Talking about our fans a little bit.
Yeah.
Here at Duke City Championship Wrestling, you come to an event, Sale Taylor comes out for sale, Sale Taylor, the Samoan Nightmare, you're just going to boo your head off because you haven't got a chance to boo your head off against anyone here, right?
Thank you.
Sale Taylor comes out in Florida. The Samoan Nightmare for sale comes out in Florida, comes out in the Tampa, St. Pete, Orlando, Sarasota, heck, all the way down to Miami, except wrestling gets a little different down there, all the way up to Jacksonville. Sale Taylor comes out, fans are going to sit on their hands. Because, they're so...
Hello.
So spoiled. That's what it felt like. It felt like a bunch of smart fans out there when I was at the Royal Rumble. No one that just wanted to show the enthusiasm, which is wild to me. Because sit here and tell me that pro wrestling fan is as important part of the show as performer in the ring. They are that. They're as or more important often than the performers in the ring.
You're playing to them. It's hand in hand in the same
thing. You're on TV.
Yeah.
Do the thing you're supposed to do. You're on TV.
Get the reaction. It just gets awkward. And yeah, I popped for Jordan Grace when she came out. I knew who she was when I was watching from TV for Royal Rumble. And then commentary was actually spoon feeding us the rest of it. Oh, by the way, the TNA knockout champions, the blah 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 blah. Really great job for them, by the way, the boys on the can. But yeah, you were talking about the house. Also, it wasn't it just huge. It was just
It
a
was,
huge venue.
it was gigantic. But I mean, it doesn't matter. And not to be the guy that's like, you can be the one of one. That Smiles guy, the green shirt guy at every WWE, like he's a fan who super gets over. There's
Yeah,
there's ways to do it where you're not distracting. What's that dude's name? Charles?
I want to say Jamarcus. I'm thinking I'm way off.
No, I don't believe that white guy is named Jamarcus.
LaDonovan, I think.
Again, like his thing is so stoic. His name, I know his social media is Smiles with a Z. Cool. But like, do you remember when he started showing up to all those events in that stupid green smiley face shirt? And then the story was like, and it was some like dumb stuff. It was like CM Punk pushed him one time, so he has lifetime tickets or something. You're like, that's not how
it don't work like that.
No, but there's like lore, because part of the thing.
It takes one good post from a subreddit to get enough traction, and now you have a new theory. Just like how a lot of the wrestling, the internet wrestling fans got marked, man. They got played. They got
kayfabe. With Journey Fatu?
With Journey, man. Woo!
I mean, we kind of talk about this a lot, but like, there's not a vetting process for Pro Wrestling Insider. There's not a vetting process for Pro Wrestling Talking Personality, which I get. I mean, it's not a sport. Like you don't like. There's not like a formula to covering it, but yeah, these guys, the internet, they'll just make up whatever narrative that'll get them a response or a click. When you and I were growing up, we're at or near the same age. We heard these rumors about like Marilyn Manson, right? Like, hey, I don't know if you know about Marilyn Manson.
He was on the Wonder Years.
Before our generation, before that, it was Prince. I don't know if you know about Prince.
Turns out all those stories were true, though.
Hey, before Prince, it was Billy Idol. Hey, I don't know if you know about Billy Idol. Like, come on. They're all the exact same stories. They're just changing to whatever. Idiots. Yeah, idiot kids who believe everything. Hey, I don't know if you heard about Mariah Carey and Boys to Men. Like, what? That's not.
They had it. Do they ask her about that one sweet day they had?
Yeah, right.
A lot happened.
That's how those stories spread. Putting a cap on the top 250. I mean, they didn't. Not all 250. Right? It's the top 20. Timeless Tony Storm, Jordan Grace, Rhea Ripley, pretty good. I don't know who Micaiah is. I don't know what Stardom is. Stephanie Vaquer, no clue. Sari, not sure.
You're going to see more from Stephanie, man. She crossed over to NXT. She's about to. Oh, yeah, dude.
Bailey is incredibly good. Willow Nightingale is very good. Mariah May is very good. Athena is hyped to a fun level. People really like this. Roxanne Perez. Liv Morgan is on top of the game. She was on the list.
She's killing it.
Io Sky, because limited on the microphone, I don't think gets what she should.
Yeah.
But she's also very good. And then it's an interesting list from there. Mayu Iwatsani, don't know who that is. Stardom. Masha Slam. First of all, if your last name is Slamovich, that's a super good wrestling name if you're Polish. Mina Shirakawa, Becky Lynch, which is wild because she's kind of hiatused a bit. Miyu Wananabe, Miyu Yamasada, Yamamisha, and Lyra Valkyria. So there you go. That's the end of the top 20. A handful of them and most of them you don't. And they probably have a fan group out there that'll tell you if you don't know them, you're an idiot. So cool.
You're going to hear more about Stephanie Vaquer as well as Julia, who's number 21.
Yeah.
Really, really excited to see what's to come from them, especially with Julia, who's coming in from her from her day. She's done with her days in Japan, and now she's crossed over to the WWE Universe, and she's about to wreak havoc. I can't wait. Like the next generation of what's being showcased, not necessarily of those, for the time in. I know a
Right.
lot of these. I know a lot of these workers have been in for a long time, putting in the work, paying their dues, but unfortunately, not a lot of people will get smart into them until they get into some of the larger promotions: WWE, AEW, TNA, NWA. So I'm excited to see how Julie is now a part of the WWE universe. Stephanie Vakir, who's like coming up from Mexico, amazing, amazing matches. I'm excited to see where they're going to go. How they're going to be utilized
Yeah.
in this.
Motor City Machine Guns signed with WWE, and we'll talk about that whenever we get back from the break. It's going over on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Going Over. I'm Fred Sawyer, Saleh Taylor. We're hanging out all morning long, so thank you for doing that with us. Also, if you're out and about today, come join me at the Health Fest over at Civic Plaza as the Duke City Marathon is this weekend, and the Boys and Girls Club is excited to be there and be a part of that. And then you can find Van and I, my host of Two Men On, over at Fall Fest we're hosting. So we're going to have a lot of fun with all those interactions, including a costume contest and all those fun things that surround it. Sally, you got any gigs this weekend?
I do. I just don't know where and when. I'll get a call. 100%. I got it. I literally just got back, so my calendar's a little bit all over the place. I just played at Marble downtown tonight, as of Friday night as we're recording.
Oh this. Yeah, one more time before it's all over. That's the plan.
Yeah, pretty much, man. I got myself a double Caucasian. It was fun, man. It's really good. But I know I'm supposed to be playing somewhere tomorrow, and I'm doing something else on Sunday. But I'll get a call telling me I'm late, and then I'll go. Just, I'm grateful. I am grateful. You got a full dance card this weekend, and as we are working towards, I don't know about you, but like when you get past Halloween, the rest of the year becomes like pretty much a 75% run into a sprint by the time we get to December. And so I'm feeling that momentum.
My day job with the Boys and Girls Club, the holiday season's a real giving season, and there's a ton going on there. So I put a lot of, I'm the philanthropy guy, like I'm always trying to help in that aspect. So yeah, there's a ton going on there, but it gets interesting with radio because everyone wants cash in their time off, but radio doesn't get to go away, right? So it's, I'll end up guesting on a whole bunch of different shows, and I'll end up covering a bunch of stuff, and it's you end up in kind of a workflow situation that's a little bit bigger than your normal, but I mean it's perfectly fine because like here at Cumulus, right, for example, like KNML and KKOB and kind of all the things that surround it, if you need a guy to come on and cover, sports, pop culture, current events, news of the day, like pulse of the city, like I got it. Like I can do all that stuff for you. And also, unfortunately, I don't struggle to get up in the morning, so I can do it at 5 a.m. and I don't struggle to stay up late, so I can do it at 10 p.m. So it's a whole thing. But anyways, the holidays are fun. What's interesting for me on a personal note is my life is dramatically different than what it was a year ago today. My life a year ago today, I didn't have my partner, so my partner wasn't in the picture. Like, so that changes the holiday scene. You're aware of this. My father passed away over the summer. So that changes my goals, to be around family for the holidays because my father's no longer around. So there's going to be some turbulence, I think. But with that said, there's a million good things that will grow from this. My father passed away over the summer, right? So my father passes away. I'm going through life. I was telling you this, I get a blood test. I'm going to figure out who I am. Like do I have the thing that affected my father? I don't. That's good. Oh no, you got type 2 diabetes, brother. I go, what? Me? I feel fine. There's nothing weird with me. So, and you haven't seen me in some time because you've been on the West Coast recording. I'm down like almost 40 pounds. Like, how do you just lose 40 pounds? Oh, you change your life up. Like,
I think
cut
I
out.
found those pounds, man.
Oh,
Damn it.
you got them.
Yeah. Thank you for losing them.
But that's the thing. Like, the holiday will be easier. Like my life physically is a
Yeah.
little bit easier. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird stitch. My jackets don't fit anymore.
It's kind of crazy how you talk about this the way we are. This time last year, I was just getting more involved with DCCW, and
with Fat Freddy fame,
bro, and and then just Fat Saleh, but just Saleh. But what's really crazy is I didn't really start getting back in the ring until January of this year, and talking
we
about
rushed
life
out there.
changing.
We rushed out there. Had to get the draw, brother. Rushed you
Bro,
right out.
it was beautiful, and I'm grateful. And y'all been pushing me, man, and I'm about it. Sometimes you need a push, man, a good push. So yeah, but this is our 50th episode, by the way, and we've spent some time where we had to lay low or let the Cumulus Radio do its thing. That means we've been doing the show for over a year, by the way.
Yeah, crazy,
dude. That's crazy, man.
Hey, we're a pretty good tag team. We're not the Motor City Machine Guns though, who signed with WWE today, made their debut.
Congratulations to them boys, man.
And Chris Sabin, they're on the SmackDown brand. They've won championships in TNA. They won championships in ROH. Talking about them specifically, not the biggest point of this conversation. Talking about the effort that it appears that WWE's put into tag team wrestling. Talk a lot about how it's different flavors, pro wrestling. Some people love tag team wrestling. This is another example of them trying to, in my opinion, Saleh, do the best they can throughout every division. And this is not what it was 5 years ago when it was the John Cena show. This is not what it was 10 years ago when it was the John Cena show. This is not what it was 15 years ago when it was well, you see where I'm going with this. But it's it's kind of fun, right? There's different aspects of every I fast forward a lot when I watch wrestling. I know what I fast forward through. And I'll be excited to pause it out on some really good tag team wrestling. That'll be fun.
The tag team division is not just for WWE or AEW, but also DCCW. It's a beautiful thing where it's catching momentum on a lot of things. That's been one of those things that, like, when there's a lull in the products, especially in the bigger promotions, you feel it, and like, I'd hate to say this, especially because everyone's working and they're working the hardest and they earn that TV time. But sometimes some of these matches are fillers, where, unfortunately, the way we see it sometimes, all right, this is the one I'm going to the bathroom in. It's been like that for quite some time, but now it's the momentum's changing, and people want to see great storytelling, great stories, great tag teams, great chemistry, great matches, something to expand. It's a beautiful thing, man. I love. I'm really happy to see the boys getting up there.
And I tell you what, I mean, this is like a real TV comment. I'm gonna seem like a super nerd, but whenever you have tag team out there, you get a lot of like long form camera stuff. You get a lot of like stationary camera. You get a lot of like hard camera that's showing like the entire action in the ring. So you kind of get to watch this stuff develop out. It's not like, this is not the best example in the world, but it's not like going back to like the days of the Thunderdome where they were recording, a month's worth of material over the course of 2 days. And you could, put 6 cameras out there and put 30 edits over the course of 30 seconds.
2 seconds. Oh, yeah. God.
So
gone are those days, man.
Right? Where, and not to be like a crybaby Fred, but it was like, wah, 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 and I'm like, oh, I have a headache.
Bro.
And that, that's a different form of entertainment, which I'm super into. I'm super into the, let me see the whole story, because I'm not saying I watch it different than anyone, but it's fun to have the opportunity to. And that's what
you actually have
feels like.
Media as a whole has adjusted from that. Back in the late 2000s, early 2000s, it was all about the edit cuts. Most of it was all about like hiding or protecting some of the workers. Even in film, you have someone like Liam Neeson who's in his 50s. There's a cut of him actually jumping over a fence, and that sequence, they cut it like 30 times in the
So
span of 20 seconds. Buzz like, yeah, because that's an older man jumping over a fence, and you don't want to, you got to hide. You got to kind of protect
yeah,
that a little bit, and that was the style that transferred into professional wrestling. The products, the big products, because sometimes they're a victim of their time. They're a victim
hmm
of whatever's trending at the and that, and it wasn't until in the mid teens for film where they were like all about slower and a longer, wider lens fight sequences where they can just um, or just like have the camera move with the sequences, and
right,
that has been a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. And now seeing how wrestling, especially WWE, you have these beautiful long sequences of you see them walking from backstage through Gorilla to the front, and the camera s- just follows, stays with
yeah.
them.
Well, it's harkened to
That
days.
is so beautiful.
It's harkened to days gone by, right? Because like that used to be just like a feature for one guy. That was Bill Goldberg. Like that was a feature for one guy going to the ring. And now you incorporated it into so many. And I do like shine on entrance. I think like it's super super important, especially in an industry that's all about entertaining. Like you let them start before the ring. There's curtain to curtain or whatever, but I would say it's so much more important than bell to bell. I think curtain to curtain is pro wrestling. With
Yeah,
that said, 'cause we only have but a few moments left. Um, London had put in a bunch of bids on WrestleMania, London,
yeah,
England, and they recently said we're no longer interested. We're getting a Super Bowl. So this is kind of a wild story. I guess they're gonna try their darndest to at Wembley host a Super Bowl, and that is crazy. So as well and as popular as WWE is currently going, the NFL is king. The NFL cannot be touched by anyone. Um, and if the NFL were to say, "Hey, don't put your resources into WWE, put your resources into us, to the city of London," that they will answer.
yeah.
They will say yes. They will just say yes.
That could be the most insane thing, and the airports would be insane because, like, sure, the Wembley having to host that, but who's gonna go to the game for Super
Me,
Bowl?
I would go.
Well, I'm going with you, but still, who else is going to
Well,
the
and
Super Bowl?
I know we got to go, but the last time is like, I get to go every year. Like I'm real fortunate in the world of media, and there's a loyalty to this thing. Like I don't skip them. Like I go to every Super Bowl, and
Dub.
I can't imagine the NFL is going to say no. Like I can't imagine they're going to fight me off because we have been so kind to each other. Sully, that's it. We're at our time, brother. Give me some final words.
Um, Catch me anywhere where I may or may not be this weekend. I'll see you. If you see me, that means you're in the right place at the right time.
Poor Sully Taylor for myself, Fred Slow. Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.